Every single water bottle you've ever bought has a lie on it. Right now, go grab a water bottle, flip it over, you'll see a date. Best Buy expires, some version of it. And here's the question nobody ever asks. Why does water have an expiry date? Water, H2O, the same molecule that's been sitting in oceans, glaciers, and clouds for 4 billion years. It doesn't rot, it doesn't spoil, it doesn't ferment. So why is there a countdown clock on your bottle? Now here's where it gets strange. The date isn't there because the water goes bad. It's there because something else does. Something that's in contact with your water every single second. From the moment it's bottled to the moment it hits your lips. And right now, in your home, in your bag, maybe in your hand. That process is already happening. Turns out there's a brilliant reason for that date. And the truth is way more disturbing than expired water. Today, we're uncovering what's actually happening inside your bottle right now. The 1987 law that created this global standard by accident. And the one everyday habit that makes everything 10 times worse. Stay until the end, because the last reveal will genuinely change how you drink water. But quick, before we go any further, welcome to We Knew That, where everyday objects reveal secrets hiding in plain sight. If that intro already got your brain spinning, hit subscribe right now. We drop discoveries like this every single week. Ready? Because we're just getting started, and it gets wild. To understand that expiry date, we first have to look at one of the oldest problems in human history, keeping liquids safe to drink. Because people have been fighting this battle for thousands of years, and losing. Imagine hauling water in animal skins that reeked and rotted within days. Imagine drinking wine stored in lead-lined vessels, not knowing the container was slowly poisoning you. Imagine water sitting in wooden barrels on a ship for months, turning green, thick, alive with bacteria. For most of history, the container was the enemy. It cracked, it leaked, it contaminated. And then, in the 20th century, plastic arrived, and everyone exhaled. Lightweight, cheap, sealed perfectly, seemed completely inert. No taste, no smell, no contamination. Plastic was supposed to be the end of the problem. But here's what took scientists decades to figure out. Plastic isn't just a container. It's a material that reacts slowly, silently, chemically. And when it reacts, it releases things directly into your water. So what exactly is it releasing? That's where the story gets genuinely uncomfortable. Step 1. The chemistry happening right now, inside your bottle. Most water bottles are made from PET plastic, polyethylene terephthalate. Think of PET like a net of tiny interconnected chemical rings, all locked together. In perfect conditions, that net holds tight. But the moment you introduce heat, sunlight, or time, those rings start to break. And when they break, they release a compound called acetaldehyde directly into the water. That's why a bottle left in a hot car tastes faintly sweet and slightly off. That's not your imagination. That's plastic chemistry. But here's what people always miss. Acetaldehyde is actually the harmless one, because the longer plastic degrades, the deeper it goes. And what comes out next is a completely different conversation. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, we need to talk about where that expiry date actually came from, because the origin story is something almost nobody knows. Step 2. The law that created this standard by accident. Here's your first mind-blown moment. The expiry date on water bottles was born from a law that had nothing to do with water. In 1987, the state of New Jersey passed a regulation requiring all packaged food and beverage products to carry a 2-year expiry date. All of them. No exceptions. Water companies looked at their product, pure H2O, a molecule that literally cannot expire, and they stamped a date on it anyway, because the law said they had to. New Jersey eventually revised that rule. The law changed, but the date never went away. Other states kept it, other countries adopted it, and suddenly a label born from a paperwork requirement became a global industry standard. But here's where it gets a little darker. At some point, water companies realized something interesting. An expiry date, even a meaningless one, is great for business. Think about it. If you see a date that's passed, you throw the bottle out. You buy a new one. It's like a printer company designing ink cartridges to expire when they're still half full. The product isn't gone. The date just convinces you it is. But wait, here's the thing. Even though the date was created by regulation, not science, there is something real happening inside that bottle as time passes. And this, right here, is the part that scientists are genuinely alarmed about. Step 3. The real danger nobody is talking about. You ready? Because this is the one. The water isn't expiring, the bottle is. And as PET plastic breaks down over time, especially under heat, it doesn't just release taste chemicals, it releases antimony, a heavy metal used in the manufacturing of PET plastic. Studies have found that antimony leaches into bottled water at rates that increase the longer the bottle is exposed to warmth. Leave a case of water in a hot garage for a few months. The antimony concentration in that water has measurably increased. But that's not even the biggest one. Because in the last 10 years, researchers started looking at something smaller, something invisible to the naked eye. Microplastics, tiny fragments of plastic broken off directly from the bottle walls, suspended in your water. You can't see them, you can't taste them, you can't filter them out at home. And one study found an average of 240 microplastic particles per liter in commercially bottled water. 240 particles per liter in a sealed bottle. Let that land for a second. Now here's the part that will stop you cold. The one habit that makes all of this dramatically worse: reusing single-use plastic bottles. Every time you refill a PET water bottle, wash it, squeeze it, run it through a bag, you create microscopic scratches in the plastic. Those scratches massively accelerate the breakdown. More breakdown means more leaching, more microplastics, more antimony. The thing most people do to save money and reduce waste is actually the most damaging thing you can do to the bottle. That's your second mind-blown moment, and the one that genuinely changes behavior. So here's what we now know. That little date on the bottom of your bottle, it wasn't stamped there because the water expires. It was stamped there because a 1987 New Jersey law caught water companies in a blanket regulation, and the habit never died, even after the law changed. But even though the date was created by accident, it's pointing at something real, because time, heat, and wear are breaking down your bottle, right now, silently. And what leaches out isn't dangerous in one sip, but a lifetime of microplastics and trace metals from a product marketed as the cleanest drink on earth? That's worth knowing. So here's what to do differently starting today. Never leave plastic bottles in a hot car or direct sunlight. Store water bottles cool, dry, and away from heat sources. And stop refilling single-use PET bottles. Get a stainless steel or glass option if you want to reuse. The bottle isn't your enemy, but now you understand it. So next time you hold a water bottle and see that date, don't think of it as the water going bad. You're looking at a chemical countdown clock on the container, born from an accidental regulation, kept alive by billion-dollar business logic, and pointing at a science story that's still unfolding. The water is fine. It's what's been holding it that deserves your attention. And that moment when it all clicks? Ah, now we knew. If this changed how you see that tiny stamp, smash that like button. Subscribe to We Knew That for more everyday objects with extraordinary secrets. Drop a comment with "We knew that" and tell us what object to investigate next. New discoveries every week. See you in the next one.